People may or may not be identifying them all just because of how squished their various brains were. Let me see. Probably this one is a very nice example here. Someone wants to... Okay. So let's start from the top here. So we've got up here, this should be the corpus callosum. And this one's nice because it still has the septum pellucidum here, which separates the two halves of the corpus callosum from one hemisphere to the other. And underneath here will be the lateral ventricle. All right, so that's the one that's the big horn-shaped. Okay, and so underneath here, so you see how the top part is the corpus callosum, and then underneath here, this is the fornix. Whoop. Okay, and then from the fornix, we also have the thalamus here, hypothalamus in this area. Let's see, this should be the pineal gland, and then we also have here this. So this portion is all part of the midbrain. So we've got the colliculi. We've got the superior and inferior colliculi. We've got here, this should be pons. Okay, pons.
The ones that's sticking out.
Right up here, pons right here, sticking out, and then we have the medulla oblongata. And then this part is the cerebellum. So let's see, so for the cerebellum, you see out here we have all the branching portions. That's going to be the arbor vitae. And that's going to be white matter. And then we also have the, so like arbor vitae, so like a tree. And then we have the folia, like foliage, like of a tree, you know, like bushes and stuff. So all of these patterns here, that's going to be the folia. Okay? And so now we're going to go back and talk about the ventricles. So we have the lateral ventricles up in here. And then underneath here we have the third ventricle. And then that's going to be between the thalamus and the fornix. And that connects to this cerebral aqueduct. And that cerebral aqueduct is going to be, actually, it doesn't look like it connects directly from the way we cut it, but it passes between here, the collicula and the midbrain, so in this area. And then it connects downwards into the fourth ventricle here, which is between the cerebellum and the midbrain here. So this gap in here.
And you can actually lift up the cerebellum and dig like we lift up on the other side.
So I want to grab it with the glove.
Yeah, do that, or just up underneath the base of the cerebellum, further down.
Here.
There you go, right up in there.
Here we go.
Right up inside there.
Yeah,
fourth
this
ventricle.
gap here.
It's all up underneath there.
Yeah, and so remember the ventricles are what produce the cerebral spinal fluid. So that's why all the core process is. Okay, and then was there anything else that I'm missing? We can look at the ventral view, actually. Flopping around. Okay, so everyone should be able to identify the optic chiasma. You got your nice big X here, which goes off to your optic nerve, and then we have your, everyone knows what this was? Olfactory. Okay, all right. And then people kind of identify this bit. It's kind of cut in half. Let's see. Yeah, we also got that should be the mammillary bodies, right, in here? Did I miss it?
A little piece, it's hard to see in this cut.
Yeah, this one might be a little bit trickier to see. Might be using one of the other ones.
It's right back behind the optic chiasm.
Yeah, chiasma. And the mammillary bodies, and then we have here the collicula, the corpora quadrigemina. If you
pons.
The pons, oh, this is, no, pons will be over here.
The ventral surface.
Yeah.
Yep, so that's all pons.
Yeah, this should be pons.
Quadrigemina are on the back, the dorsal surface,
right. Huh?
Right? Wait, let's turn it sideways and just make sure. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
sorry, I missed it.
So superior and inferior corpora or colliculi.
Sorry,
and then
guys.
pons on the ventral surface.
Yeah,
no,
pons
it's
on
easy.
this side.
It's easy to mix up the dorsal and ventral because they look really similar.
Yeah. All right. So this section is midbrain, and here we've got the main part of the cerebellum. What else?
If we lift
The part above the corpus callosum.
yeah, if we lift it, we can see them better, right?
The corpus callosum.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah,
can
you can see it like this way.
Yeah,
Like
you
here.
can look inside there.
See?
Yeah.
Oh, is that the
The dorsal surface.
So if you hold this
superior,
apart,
inferior.
yeah. So here, see here are your corpora quadrigemina
Yeah.
from this view.
What do they do?
That's, remember, reflexive responses to sight and sound. So visual reflexes and auditory reflexes. So very automatic things, not things that you have a lot of control
Like
over.
you hear a gunshot, and you go,
Yes.
right?
The instant sort of
Yeah.
auditory
Or like
visual
the-
responses.
Yeah, or like a flash, and you're like,
Yeah.
and you blink.
Now in
Right.
humans, ours aren't as big as in the sheep. Ours are smaller, actually. Those are ginormous. They're reflexive responses. Also, another thing that's ginormous on the sheep compared to us is, take a guess. Helen just went over one of them on the ventral surface, and she was asking you what they were. If you flip it over and look at the
The
ventral surface.
olfactory.
Yeah, the olfactory bulbs. If you look at the human, they're tiny. teeny, minuscule, and on the sheep they're huge. The olfactory bulbs and olfactory tracts.
Where are the
So
bulbs
better sense
again?
of smell.
The very end,
She's
right?
holding
The
it.
ends. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
the ends. And then that's the
Bulb
duct.
structure.
The track is down
The track.
here. Yeah, down here and then going into the brain. Yeah. And then you were going some other stuff with the gray matter. Can you point that out? Because
Sure. So, let's
Okay.
see. See this little structure right here? So here's lateral ventricle, corpus callosum. You see this dark nuclei right in here? Those are the basal ganglia. So we're seeing there's a cut that goes right there. See how dark it is? So it's nice, deep gray cerebral nuclei are the basal ganglia. So we have the cortical gray matter on the outside, the white matter on the inside, and then that's the basal ganglia. There's 3 sets of nuclei or structures, but that's the one that we can see clearly here. This one is this nice coronal section where we just missed the pineal gland right here, but here is the hippocampus that arches around the thalamus. So here's thalamus, and here's hippocampus. Can you see they're like arm? We'll move this. Little arm structures right here. Hippocampus. So involved in memory, learning and memory.
It's towards the frontal part of the brain, right?
Not really. It's more like right in the middle of the brain. It's back in the back part of the thalamus and right through the pineal gland is what we ended up going
So more
through.
like midbrain area.
And here's another view of it. Here's pineal gland. Yeah, pineal gland. And then here's a little edge of hippocampus. Can you see it? As it arches around, a little piece of it right there. Yep. Okay, so I think those are all the... And then olfactory tracts. You guys got the bulbs and the tracts. See where the tracts go back right here? So the olfactory cortex that processes olfactory information is back in the medial aspect of the temporal lobe. Okay, so that's where olfaction sensation occurs, perception of it. This is a trick question. Where is the olfactory nerve? Olfactory nerve? There is one. That's actually the first nerve, cranial nerve 1. Where's the olfactory nerves?
Is it that?
This is the olfactory tract. This is the olfactory bulb. See, are these good too? Yeah, this is a really nice one too. You can see the tract. Oh, that's very clear. Olfactory tract, olfactory bulb. So the olfactory nerves actually come from the olfactory epithelium. Remember that? They have receptors, odorant receptors, and then they go through the ethmoid bone, the olfactory foramina, those little holes, where those then go up in synapse on these olfactory bulbs to the second neuron in the chain. So the olfactory neurons, a bunch of them, the olfactory nerves are out here, and they lead up in synapse on the olfactory bulb. In that sense, the command or the impulse is back through the tract into the brain.
They go through the ethmoid air cells, or
Through the ethmoid cribriform plate, the olfactory foramina of the cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone. Yep. So those are, and actually those are cranial nerves 1, 2, and 3. I always remember this little Odessa Ophelia O'Connor takes tests amazingly. You can remember Oprah, you can make it whatever you want. But it's olfactory nerves, optic nerves, oculomotor nerves. The 3 O's come first. So 1, 2, then oculomotor.
That one's
is
just olfactory. I'm just
olfactory.
talking about the 3 cranial nerves.
Yeah.
your cranial nerves.
Because you have to learn them all.
And you guys got the
Are the
pineal. This
cranial
is a
nerves
really
on
good
the-
one for
on
the
this
pineal
test?
gland too, right here. Nice and
They're
dark.
going to be in this section.
When are we gonna cover them?
This one's not
Next
good. This
week?
is good for pineal
I believe
gland.
so.
And this is good for lateral
what are they?
ventricle. This is a really good one. Helen pointed out the septum pellucum is still on there. Awesome.
They're on
Optic
this
chiasm.
test?
They're going to be on, they should be on this test.
Dr. S.
Yeah.
What's the best way to cover the to learn the nerves to memorize?
These are all good.